Hello there, beautiful beings. Welcome to my sacred space. My name is Raven, and thank you so much for being here. This is going to be a deck collection video as requested. So we'll have a look at all of the tarot decks that I have in my possession as of December 2022. Enjoy! Alright, let's jump right into it. I'm not going to talk as much per deck so that we can finish it in under an hour. So first one, in no particular order, I'm going to start off with the Tarot of the Divine. This is by Yoshitani. It's a very beautiful deck. I love the, the linen. This is published by Clarkson Potter Publishers. It actually has a book, and this one is sold separately. So I just decided I wanted to get it just to learn more about the stories. And yeah, since I'm doing this, I'm gonna show you. It's very beautiful. You can read it for your kids or for yourself before bedtime. So I really like that. But on to the deck. Let's see. It does come with a guidebook. It's colored. You have the information here already. So upright meanings, reversed meanings, and then a little bit of information about the story or the fable or it says inspired by deities, folklore, and fairy tales from around the world. So you get that information. This is a linen cardstock. Very beautiful. I love it. I love the feel of it. It feels good when I shuffle it. Nice colors. And the images are stunning. They're vibrant. They're just so pretty and, very reminiscent of the theme, which is, of course, folklores and fairy tales. So see? Everything is just so beautiful. You have the text under for the title of the card. You also have borders here, but I really don't mind. They look really nice. And that is how it looks like. So that is Tarot of the Divine by Yoshitani. Moving on to the next one. I'm just going to grab the first one that I see. This is Everyday Tarot by... Gosh, I forgot her name. She has like a school. Britt Esselmont. She has like a class for teaching tarot. So yeah, this one is like a tiny deck that you can bring with you wherever you want to go. If you're also just starting to learn how to read the tarot, this is also a good one. I think her website has all of the meanings as well. So this is tiny. Really cute, perfect for small hands. So if you are young and you're trying to learn tarot, this is also a good deck to start off with. As you can see, oops, it's upside down. It is gilded. Very nice warm gold tone. It does have two colors only. Well, yeah, white is not a color, so it only has gold and violet. But I don't mind it at all. I think it's really cute. It is RWS inspired, as you can see. You can still make out some of the images, even though this is mostly silhouette. But yeah, that is the Everyday Tarot deck by Britt Esselmont. Guidebook has a lot of information, even if it's tiny. So I'm just gonna try to shoot it right here. Okay, next up is the Smith-Waite Tarot deck Centennial edition. This is a tin deck by US Games. One of my favorites, I have to say. I am an RWS girl, so yeah, obviously it's going to be one of my favorites. But the guidebook, even though it's a little white book and it's tiny, it has a lot of information, but not as crazy as the OG. I'll show you later. Cardstock is really good as well. I love the simplicity of the backing. I guess they got that from one of Pamela Coleman Smith's other artworks or design or style. Maybe that's her signature. I really don't know, but it is very pretty. It does have borders, but I don't mind. So this one is a little bit muted. If you see the OG one, that one is like a little bit more vibrant. Here the yellows are pale and blues are a little bit paler, which is, I like it. And this one is also beautiful to shuffle. Plus it's tiny, which is perfect for my hand. So yeah, this is really one of my go-to decks. I love that it is in a tin, which allows me to bring it everywhere I go. Next up is the Tarot of White Cats. This is a low scarabeo deck. It's so pretty. I don't know, I decided to get this one over the Black Cat Tarot before, but yes, so since this is a low scarabeo deck, you have different languages as well. English, Italiano, Espanol, Francais, Portuguese, and then I guess it's Russian. I'm not sure. But it is very tiny. Like, I do have tiny hands, so yeah. It is glossy. It has borders, but this one also follows the RWS system, which is really cool. However, I think Los Scarabeo has their own, their Universal Tarot. So yeah, it's like the Universal Tarot, except these are beautiful, beautiful, cute cats, and they're all white. This is such a fun deck to use. Of course, I love cats, but also I don't know. I guess because they're cats, so it's not as. Look at that. I mean, come on. It's not as harsh. Do you know what I mean? Like Seven of Swords, yeah, deceit, cheating, betrayal. But look at that cat. Like I can't. It's just too adorable. So yeah, this one has a full-sized version. I don't have that one. I prefer the tiny one. All right, next up. This is the Beauty of Horror Tarot by Alan Robert. Perfect for Halloween. It came in with this awesome guidebook, which is black, and I don't know, it reminds me of like a graphic novel. Plus, it does have like a huge representation of the card. It's actually probably bigger, or maybe, I know, yeah. All right, so that is how it looks like. You have meanings for upright and reversed. Cards are fancy. I wasn't expecting this to be good. They are very thin, by the way, but they are of linen cardstock, which is good. I had an accident with this deck. I was drinking, I don't know, maybe water or tea, and the condensation of the glass, actually, I don't know what happened. I just remember that one of the cards here absorbed water, and so yeah, that's a little bit wonky. But yeah, it's still all good. I love the Three of Swords in this deck. So pretty. Yes, it is gory, right? But yeah, like I said, this is perfect for Halloween. And I do use it even on regular days. I love this one. I just love the colors, the representation. They're not super creepy. Well, I guess depends. It's subjective, right? How scared you are. But yeah, I think the artist was able to give justice to the RWS system. Definitely. Look at the Fool. Temperance. So it's really nice. So if you're like into goth decks or Halloween decks or scary decks, consider giving this a shot, because it is really one of the nicer decks that I have here. So yeah. Beauty of Horror by Alan Robert. Okay, which one? Okay, another creepy deck. This is the Dreamkeeper Tarot by Liz Houston. I purchased this from, gosh, is it US Games? Let me see. Yeah, US Game Systems. It came in with this chunky guidebook that I haven't really read, but I think that if you're a beginner, this guidebook has a lot of information. Divinatory messages, you have keywords for upright and reversed, and a lot of information about the actual card itself. Yeah, it's a very good guidebook. Packaging is also pretty. It looks vintagey. It's like an old Victorian, I don't know, maybe wallpaper. The cardstock is, US Games, they have really nice cardstock. This is slippery. It's not hyper gloss, but it does have some sheen. It doesn't have any borders, but it has like this bar at the bottom. At the bottom, where you can see the title of the cards. It is very dream-like, and not in like a fancy dream-like state. You know what I mean? Like, it's creepy. It has the creepy dream vibe that, to be honest, I don't use this as much because I really do get goosebumps when I use it. Although the messages that I get from this deck are really spot on. It's just very confronting, the images are, at least, but I guess, I'm just probably creeped out by it. But I still use this, preferably during the daytime. But it is a very beautiful deck, and yeah, this one actually reminds me of the which one is that? I was choosing between this one and the Tarot of Mystical Moments, but I got the Tarot of Mystical Moments first. But eventually I decided to get this one as well. So that is the Dreamkeeper's Tarot by Liz Houston. Next up is the Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake, and art by Elizabeth Alba. This is a Llewellyn deck, as you can see from the box. It is huge, right? Very nice. Oh, okay, yeah, that happened. Guidebook is also chunky. It's like a textbook. The layout is very good. It has full color cards, a representation of the cards. And I think this is a good read. You have a lot of information like strength, a short phrase there to kind of like recap what this card means. You also have some affirmations over here and then things to consider, and you have notes. So you can write down what you think of this card or how it means to you. So very, very good idea. So this is more of like a textbook. Very heavy too. Onto the cards. One of my favorites, I would have to say. This really is just refreshing to use. I don't know why, but I really like it. The images are gorgeous. They're vibrant, very modern. But I don't know, look at this, one of my favorite cards, like the moon. You see the Black Panther and then the small black cat. King of Pentacles, very beautiful. It doesn't have any borders, and it is drawn very nicely. It reminds me of storybooks. When I was a kid, I would read a lot of storybooks, so the artwork is very reminiscent of that, so it brings back good memories. And I also get amazing messages and intuitive hits whenever I use this deck, like even messages that aren't so obvious, but I would be drawn to some part of the card, and everything will just flow seamlessly. Llewellyn has their own size, like their own specific size for tarot decks. So this is that. If you have a Llewellyn deck at home or in your collection, you would know the size. I like it because I can shuffle it very easily despite my tiny hands. The backing is also so pretty. So that is the Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This is the Modern Witch Tarot by Lisa Sturley. This is by Liminal 11, one of their first few tarot decks. So this one doesn't have like the cover underneath that prevents it from slipping. So it has an extra card. They said that this is the card that started it all. Everything is fine. I like it. You can switch it with your Ten of Swords card if you prefer. Guidebook is hardbound, very tiny, small. Just, they have information, but not a lot. Just enough, I guess. Onto the cards. Now the cards are thick. I just have a hard time shuffling this because they're so chunky, and I do have small hands, but I can shuffle them this way. Although I prefer to just do overhand shuffling because it is very, very thick. Cardstock is good. It's just that it's not ideal for riffle shuffle. Well, I guess if you have bigger hands or you have stronger fingers, then you can, but not so much for me. The backing, is it reversible? Yeah, I really don't know. Yeah, I think the backing is reversible. I love the teal or like aqua color. It has borders, and yes, this is an RWS deck. But of course, the characters or the subject in each of the cards are wearing modern clothing, which is I think is really, really cool. I love this. This is my Coachella card. This is one of my favorites, the Hermit. So, closing her laptop, going away, and just, shutting everyone down just to focus on herself. So, yes, there you go. And I love that this is a very diverse deck as well. As you can see, the Queen of Wands has vitiligo, body positivity as well. And yeah, this is just an overall beautiful deck. And I love it. I can't seem to part ways with it. I said before, perhaps when I get This Might Hurt Tarot, because they kind of like have the same vibe, I might part ways with this one. But, hey, it's still here. I still have it. So I think this one's going to stay. So that is the Modern Witch Tarot by Liminal 11, Lisa Sturley. Next up, this is Tarot de Saint Croix by Lisa de Saint Croix. I can't pronounce that. I'm not French. Croix. Tarot de Saint Croix. I can't do the rolling R. But this is a deck gifted by Anna of Antiquarian Sense, and I love this one. I haven't heard of this deck before she gifted it to me, but I think it's very gorgeous. I think this is an out of print deck, at least this version. It has its own size. It's not similar to Llewellyn, to other tarot decks, so it has its own size. So yeah, it shuffles really well. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay, there you go. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, it shuffles really well. I guess these are, paintings. I'm not so sure if they do have a theme. It's like every card is different, but because of the color scheme, they look cohesive still. So yeah, look at this. 10 of Cups, Christmas, and then that. I use this mostly for shadow work, just because I don't know what to expect per card. Oh, I'm not going to show you that. But yes, it's a very, very interesting deck, I would have to say. So thank you so much, Anna. This is Tarot de Saint Croix, an independent deck by Lisa de Saint Croix. Croix, I can't say it. Next up is my Dancing in the Dark Tarot. This is a Los Scarabeo deck, and I know a bunch of people out there hate Los Scarabeo decks for the talk box and for the little white book and the cardstock, but man, I love it. Well, okay, talk box, maybe not so much, but yeah, I like it. I'm learning German right now. Okay, this one doesn't have German, so it has English, Italiano, Espanol, and Portuguese. So just a few pages for the English meanings. Cardstock. Okay, this is going to be controversial, but I really do like the cardstock of Los Scarabeo decks. I think they're very easy to shuffle, very sturdy. They're not papery at all. They're quite slippery. And I like it. I like that I'm able to shuffle them. This specific deck, though, has a very dark theme, as it mentions in the title. It is a dark deck, but the images are very beautifully done, and there are like bursts of colors here and there. So it's not really like your true black tarot that's all black. It has really vibrant pops of color. Do you know what I mean? It also is quite modern, and like you would see some fellas here wearing suits and whatnot. I really like this deck because it allows me to focus on the images, without being distracted by the background, because it is all black. I'm gonna try to shuffle it just so you know how well it shuffles. But yes, let's go ahead and shuffle the Dancing in the Dark Tarot. I love it. Let me know if you have this deck as well, or what your thoughts are about Los Scarabeo decks. But yeah, I like them. But that's just me. Alright, moving on to the next one. Another Los Scarabeo deck. This is Wheel of the Year Tarot. I really don't remember why I got this one. I just thought it would be nice to have like some sort of like a fairy tale deck, aside from my Yoshi Yoshitani one. And look at that. Is that a beaver? So cute. When you were a kid and you had like those like Cinderella, or like those kingdom folklore or kingdom fairy tales, that is what this deck reminds me of. Look at that. Isn't that Snow White's evil stepmother? Like, really? This one has borders, and it has different languages there. So I really don't understand most of them. So, I just have a look at the card, see if it's pentacles, and there you already know. Okay. Very nice. I like it. This also gives me a lot of intuitive hits, because a lot of things are going on in each of the cards, and sometimes I'm drawn to one part, and that provides me more meanings to my readings. So this is the Wheel of the Year Tarot by Los Scarabeo. Also comes in with a little white book. All right. Next up, this is Before Tarot by, of course, Los Scarabeo as well. But as you can see, it comes in a different packaging. This, I guess, is their kit version, like a more premium version. And the reason why I got this deck is because of my, oh my gosh, where is it? Okay, it's there. So this is a deck by Corinne Kenner. It says Foresight Guide to the Before Tarot. Has a full-sized guidebook which has a lot of information, and I really like it because it is colored and it's like owning a specific tarot book, and it's just very nice all throughout. Like you have 3 versions of the specific card. Like for example, this one is from the Before Tarot, this is from the After Tarot, and this is their Universal Tarot. Do you know what I mean? Like you can see the progression of the cards. So really cool guidebook. Cardstock. I'm not really that much of a fan of this one. I guess it's so strange because a lot of people hate on those Scarabaeus cardstock because they're thin and flimsy. This one is the opposite of that. It is thick and it is hard, sturdy, very papery, not the slippery, plasticky version. Backing is gorgeous and the images are very nicely done. It's very gorgeous. It's your RWS, but you know, with a lot more people in them because they're showing different scenes. This is before, so yeah, before the actual scene, like before the 6 of Swords lady went inside the boat and traveled to, you know, calmer waters. Very nice. Like I mentioned, you know, this is of a thicker cardstock than my usual low Scarabaeo deck, so I am unable to shuffle it this way. So I just shuffle it this way, which is not so much. So I kind of do my overhand shuffle similar to my Modern Witch Tarot deck. So that is the Before Tarot by Corinne Kenner, published by Low Scarabaeo. Next up is the Morgan Greer Tarot in a Tin. This is by US Game Systems. Maybe you have seen this backing before. It is a classic. It is tiny. I love it. It's gorgeous. The guidebook is, of course, small. It's your little white guidebook. Little white book, rather. And it shuffles very nicely. Mine is a little bit banged up because I've been using this for a long time. But yeah, the images are so 70s. Look at that. It's the stash. So yeah, I love the colors in this deck as well. If I do need, I haven't used this in a long time though. I gave it a rest because I've been using it a lot. Like I would bring it with me wherever I go. And then when I got other tin decks, you know, I kind of like put this in the shelf to let it rest. But yeah, good readings, good cards from this deck. So I really do like it. It's very precise and somewhat comforting, I guess. But yeah, that is the Morgan Greer Tarot by US Games Systems. Gosh, we have a lot of decks to go through, my friends. Let me just finish the ones on my right. This is the Mermaid Tarot by Lisa Robertson. Lisa Robertson is one of Llewellyn's like most prolific authors when it comes to tarot, I guess. I'm guessing. So this is by, the illustration is by Julie Dillon. Another one that resembles a textbook. A lot of information per card, and they didn't skimp on the pages or on the printing. It is like a full textbook. It doesn't follow the RWS system though, maybe, you know, very loosely. But yes, that's how the guidebook looks like. Typical Llewellyn-sized deck. I'm not going to shuffle it anymore. The title is at the bottom, and it does have like a teeny tiny bit of shimmer or sheen. Oh, like a scuba diver. It's very refreshing because of the colors that they used. You know, it's all greens and blues, but also, of course, because of the wands or the suit of the wands, or because of the wands suit, of course, they do have fire here. And it's good that they were able to pull this off, even though this is a mermaid deck. So I think that's really cool. Reminds me of Hawaii, I guess. But yeah, this is not fully RWS inspired, like I said. But some, but the others not so much. But yeah, there you go. That is the Mermaid Tarot by Lisa Robertson. I have been meaning to get the Dame Darcy Tarot for mermaids, or yeah, the Mermaid Tarot by Dame Darcy as well. So maybe in the future I'll have that. But right now what I have is the Tinseltown Tarot, peek into the future through the golden age of Hollywood. I got this from Amazon without knowing what is inside. I just thought it's interesting. Backing is this. It's very simple, very thin, so it's not really like your premium deck, but I like it. And there you go. You have borders, and yeah, it is your Hollywood deck. Very nice. Like in the golden age of Hollywood, you know what I mean? Maybe 40s, I don't know. 1910. Oh no, it doesn't say what year specifically, but I like it. The tone of the deck is very muted, very pale pink. There's diversity, which is good. It's just an overall beautiful deck. Look at that, the Two of Pentacles and the Star. They're just really gorgeous. So yeah, if you're into vintage films, or maybe Rita Hayworth, Marilyn Monroe, and all of those amazing classic Hollywood stars, then maybe get this deck. Tinseltown Tarot, 50s. There you go, 50s vintage dame. Alright, moving on to the next one. I have the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, another one by Los Scarabeo. I do have like a lot of cards, or a lot of decks from Los Scarabeo. Usual guidebook. Okay. Several different languages. And then I'm not really that much of a fan of the backing of this deck. I think they could have done better, but the front, or the images, the actual cards themselves, they are very, very stunning. I love the detailed gold backing in the background rather. This is Art Nouveau, so of course it is romantic, it is beautiful, it is just a gorgeous deck all throughout. I love it. I love it. I also had the Universal Tarot, the Golden Universal Tarot before. I ended up giving that away, or parting ways with it, because I thought that this is already good enough for me. Like if I wanted a deck that has gold, that has shimmer, this is the usual one that I would grab or gravitate to. So yeah, I let go of the other one. This is just really too pretty, so it wasn't, yeah, it was no contest. So that is the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot by Lo Scarabeo. Alright, moving on. This is a deck gifted to me. This is the Susaraibito Tarot. I'm not sure if yeah, this is the legit one, but was gifted alongside another tarot deck. I'm just going to show you very briefly. But yes, this is how it looks like. I use it just for myself. And yeah, it is gilded. It has this background, or backing. And the cards are really cute. I think this is a Japanese deck. I'm not sure. Susaraibito. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but I don't know, I feel like it has that manga or anime style of drawing, and the cards are just so different but very emotive, so very nice. I like this one. So this is by Stacia Burrington. Okay, moving on to the other gifted deck. This is the Anima Mundi Tarot deck. Yeah, that's the reason why I think this is one of those Amazon reprint. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't look like the legit one. Plus, I think this is very expensive. It was a gift to me. I'm still keeping it. Yeah, I'm just not using it for readings for clients or for other people. Just for myself. And I think the images are really beautiful. The animals are represented well. I think this is a pip deck. I'm not quite sure. But there you go. It's a very nice deck. Yeah, it does look like a bootleg deck. Don't get me wrong, I'm still very grateful for this gift. It's just that I don't use it as much because I do have a lot of decks here, and I'm not really that good with just animal decks. But I do love this one. It is a part of my collection, and I welcome it wholeheartedly. So thank you so much to the person who gifted me this deck. They prefer to remain anonymous. Okay, next up is another animal deck. This is the Wild Unknown Pocket Tarot deck and guidebook by Kim Kranz. She came out with pocket versions, or tin decks of her Oracle and Tarot decks this year, I think. Yeah. And when I saw this one, I was like, shoot, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and purchase that. I wasn't so keen on the Wild Unknown deck before. I just thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to connect to that? That's just lines and colors, and it's not even that, I don't know, emotive or expressive, because these are just like, it's like a pip deck, right? But I took a limb. I purchased this one. It is, I think, less than $15, maybe 13. I really don't remember. But man, like when I use this, I just, it's very truthful. That's what I will say about this deck. It's very truthful, very straightforward. It doesn't mind hurting your feelings. It will give you the answers that you really need to hear. I love that some of them have really nice colors and some of them are just really black and white. It is symbolical in a way. Like the Three of Swords, right? It hurts. You see red. So yeah, that is the Wild Unknown Pocket Tarot by Kim Kranz. Very nice cardstock, by the way. I believe it's not as thick as the full-sized version, but it still works and I like it. I like the backing. It's so simple. And the guidebook for this one is superb. As you can see, it has like written. It looks like it's handwritten. You know what I mean? And it also has like an image. So if you're planning to travel or whatnot and you want to bring a tarot deck with you, you can bring this. It is actually it is thicker than my other tin decks. Yeah, because of the guidebook. Alright, moving on. One of my favorites. This is the This Might Hurt Tarot by Isabella Rotman. Beautiful, beautiful tarot deck. So, oopsies. Okay, so this deck, you have an option for the edging. I chose the black holographic one. I didn't like the pearl one just because. So, guidebook is very cool. You have an additional phrase there that allows you to, I don't know, remember the card's meanings if this is your first time. So, see, the travel card, the intern, a joyful resting spot. So, very nice. The pointless conflict card, I really like that. I think the creator also left these just with the outlines so that you can color them if you prefer. So, but the guidebook is really cool. You have a lot of information. It feels really nice as well. As for the cards, yeah, really top favorite. Cardstock is divine. It is beautiful. It is premium quality. It's matte also. Very beautiful. I just get lost in this deck. The images are superb. Of course, this is an RWS deck, but as you can see, they put in their twist. Each of the suits have their own color scheme. So for wands, of course, oranges and reds. Pentacles are kind of like yellow. Cups are greenish, purplish. Oh, purplish, greenish, bluish. So yeah, there you go. Very beautiful cards. They are modern, but at the same time, they are able to connect that with the RWS system. So really, this is one of my favorite decks. So this is the This Might Hurt Tarot by Isabella Rotman. Next up is Chris Ann's Tarot of Curious Creatures. This is a Hay House deck. Very interesting. This is an animal theme deck. Guidebook has a lot of information similar to my other Chris Ann deck, so this is really cool. Plus they have two Fools in this deck, so you have the Fool and then the Fool 2.0, which I think is really amazing. So like I mentioned, these are animal themed cards. So I think it's really cool. Animorphic, I think that is the right term. So they have animal heads and then the bodies are humans. I think it's a very quirky, very strange, very eccentric deck, but I do enjoy using this one. You know, it's just so colorful, vibrant. It has a light feeling, or it gives off a light energy. Alright, so my phone ran out of storage. I was saying that I really love the quirkiness of this deck. I love the colors. I love how some of the images are like over the border. It's just so eccentric and so pretty. I love it. It's a beautiful deck. Also, the cardstock it's not super premium. You can bend it easily, but I really don't mind. I'm able to shuffle it, so I'm cool with this deck. The backing is reminiscent of other Chris Ann decks. If you're interested to see my comparison of this deck with my other Chris Ann decks, it would be there in my playlist. I'm going to try to put an eye, but maybe I don't know how to do it yet. So there we go. Tarot of Curious Creatures by Chris Ann. Next up is the Mystical Medleys Tarot. This is a vintage cartoon tarot deck by Liminal 11. And, you know, because of the complaints, not really complaints, but perhaps suggestions of other people who purchased their decks, they added a stopper at the bottom so you can close it. Decks are still housed in this tray. You can see the sun there. And then the guidebook is the same as my Modern Witch? Is it Everyday Witch? I don't remember. Everyday Witch Tarot. So it does have that hard bound book. This one is colored though, and you have a lot of information per card. They also have additional cards here, the Happy Squirrel and the Sad Squirrel. The cardstock is okay, it's really nice, it's thick, so you know, the longevity of your cards, you know, will be good. The backing looks like your older, very vintagey cartoons with the big eyes like Betty Boop and gosh, Felix the cat? Yeah, that one. Cardstock is really nice though. You have borders, and yeah, remember the old cartoons, the black and white ones? It's really nice. I like it with the spaghetti legs and the big shoes. It's just so cute. I really like that. You know, this one has, you know, the little things that really remind you of old cartoons. The, what do you call that? The pixels there, the mole, everything. It's just so nice. I like it. I can say that this reminds me of my childhood because I think this is a lot older. At least the vintage style cartoon is a lot older than myself, but it is something that's really nice, and I like it. And this is one of my favorite cards in this deck. It's very symbolical. So yeah, that is the Mystical Medleys Tarot by Liminal 11. Gosh, we have a lot more decks to go through, and my phone already ran out of storage, so I had to delete several other videos or photos or apps. Okay, next one is Tarot de Carlotydes. This is a Fournier deck. Fournier is a publishing company in España, or in Spain, and I really love this deck. Look at the detail. It's gorgeous. One of my favorites. Guidebook is strange because it folds out like this, but it does have a lot of information, and it does provide let's see. Gebrauchen Sanweinsungen auf Deutsch. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, because I am learning Deutsch right now. So I would love to read this. I'll try. Anyway, so the backing is clearly beautiful. It is stunning. I love the black with, you know, the colors that they chose. Very, very nice. It is smaller than your typical tarot deck, so it's good because I do have small hands. I love that it's all beige. It's kind of like muted, but at the same time, it injects the right amount of color per card. It, like this one, this is so cute. 10 of Cups. Yeah, I don't know. I fell in love with this deck as soon as I purchased it. I kind of like bought it not knowing whether I like it or not, but once I got it, I instantly bonded with Tarot de Carlotydes, and really is one of my favorites. I'm gonna try to shuffle it for you guys so you have an idea how well the cardstock is. beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. So yeah, if you're planning to, purchase a Fournier deck, I would highly recommend this one, the Tarot de Carlotydes. Next up is the Deviant Moon Tarot by Patrick Valenza. This is the Borderless edition, and I got this specifically for shadow work because initially I thought I will never get this deck because of the creep factor, but I think I prefer this over the Dreamkeeper's Tarot. I think for some reason the creepiness of this deck it works. Well, the Dreamkeeper's Tarot, it also works, but I don't know. Somehow it's creepy, but at the same time it's okay. The other one is like creepy and will give me nightmares. This is a beautiful deck. I got the Borderless edition, so it doesn't have the white. Was it white? I don't really remember. Look at the eyes. Their eyes are very strong. Absolutely creepy, but absolutely perfect for shadow work as well. This deck will not sugarcoat any answers. It will give it to you straight up. The energy is so strong. I do get a lot of intuitive hits with this one. I love the colors. I love how each of the cards are represented, and I am able to look past the creepy vibe of this deck because the messages are just flowing almost all the time whenever I do use this deck for readings, and it does help me with a lot of my shadow work. Guidebook is just like this. I don't think I opened this, but I think the they kind of like give you a description of how the cards look like, and they relate it to the answers, or to the meanings of the cards. Okay, moving on to the next one. Oh, it came in talk box, so yeah, you have to be very careful if you don't want to ruin your deck. Next up is the Mood Tarot, a disgustingly relatable tarot deck by Natalie Meraki. This is an indie deck. It doesn't come with any guidebook. This is, I don't know, like one of my crazy decks. This is cray cray. It is super bendy. It is made of plastic. The backing is just so simple, and they're also advertising that this is a waterproof deck. As you can see, this is a, I don't know, like a crazy deck, I would have to say, but I really like it just for days wherein I'm not, it is funny, and for days wherein oh my gosh, I didn't even see that before. So yeah, just a funny deck all throughout. So when I don't feel like being so serious with my tarot readings, I get this one because the energy is just cray cray. You guys still there? And then you have a croissant. Why would you have a croissant there? I don't know. And then it's very comedic. I love the humor of this deck. Thing is, it is very slippery because, like I said, it is made out of plastic and it is quite heavy, but it shuffles. Awesome. So if you're shopping for an unapologetic deck, get the Mood Tarot and have a laugh because, this deck is just really fabulous. I dropped one. Okay, so this is After Tarot by Los Carabeo, one of my favorites as well. And the reason why I got the Before Tarot guidebook is just like this. Okay, so this is German. I'm so sure this is German. Let me see. Yeah, it's Deutsch. Cool. Alright, so the backing is beautiful. I can't decide which backing I prefer more, this one or the Before Tarot, but I've used this so many times before, so I'm more used to seeing this one than the yellow one. As the name suggests, this is what the artist, who's the artist? Julia F. Masalia. So this is her representation of the scenes in the RWS after that specific RWS scene was shot. I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm able to convey my thoughts clearly. I'm just so exhausted from filming. Very beautiful cards. Look at that, the Fool after he fell. You see that he's still hanging in there, right? And just smelling the roses and appreciating the beauty of things. Like, despite all of his belongings falling, it's just like, hey, are you really that risky? Do you know what I mean? And then we have a gnome here. Is that a gnome? Or like, I don't know. But yeah, I really love this deck. I really do. It just gives me a lot of emotions whenever I read using this one. And like I said, you know, it also functions as a like an oracle deck in a way, because you are seeing the moment after, right? So you have like, you can use, or you have more input. Like this one, this guy actually chose this cup which has the jewels, but look, he's now being wrapped around by this creepy snake. So you know, you can inject that in your readings as well if you feel called to. All right, put this back. Gosh, we still have a bunch more. I don't know if I'm gonna have the energy to finish this video tonight, but let's see. We have the Moonchild Tarot, one of my faves. This is my dream deck. This is by Daniel Noel. It's an independent deck. The guidebook is fabulous. A lot of information, and it is so pretty. You know, you would really just lose yourself in the images here, or even in the layout. And I love how they have like color coded the pages, so it's easy for you to flip through if you're trying to find the meaning of the cards. The backing is pristine. It's gold and white. It's just absolutely beautiful. I love this deck so much. The edging is fantastic as well. It is matte gold, and the images are just, you know, it really does grab you. Really does. It is otherworldly. It's so familiar. I don't know. I'm just so in love with the art of this deck. Cardstock is wonderful, of course. 350, maybe 450. I don't know. GSM, but you know, some would say that this is just very straightforward, like a pip deck or whatnot. But you know, I have connected with this deck very well, and I do get a lot of good guidance from it. So I really like this one. This is the Muncchild Tarot deck by Danielle Noel, and this is my dream deck. And now that I have it, it's no longer a dream. I don't know. Alright, let's move on to the next tarot deck. This will always fall in between tarot and oracle. This is the Psychic Tarot deck by John Holland. Guidebook is just like that. So this deck doesn't have court cards in them. So, and it I don't know, it reminds me of, it seems like more of an oracle, because instead of like having the usual tarot titles, you have keywords. So there you go. Very strange deck. I also had the Psychic Tarot for the heart, but I ended up parting ways with that one. I prefer this one better. I feel like I'm more connected to this deck. I got that one because of this one and how I love this, but you know, I guess I didn't connect with it much. But there you go. You can use this as an oracle deck, or you can use it as a tarot deck. So it's all up to you. So it's like a 2-for-1. So this is published by Hay House, the Psychic Tarot by John Holland. Alright, I forgot to record this or include this in the recording. This is the 5-cent tarot by Madame Clara. Another Etsy deck. I think she has several different variations of this deck, at least the backing, but this is what I got. That is how the guidebook looks like. Very straightforward, simple, and just, you know, succinct information. This one is edged and gold, and yeah, that is how the images look like. They use linen cardstock, they use animals, they have upright and reversed meanings. So for example, if you got the root and which one is this? The Knight of Buttons or the Knight of Pentacles. If it's upright, you get attainment, patience, tenacity, and if you get it up reversed, you have rut and routine, monotony, idleness. Very eccentric, but also very attractive. So I really do enjoy using this deck as well. Plus the cardstock is very nice. It is linen, and it has a really good feel. Alright, next up we have the Tarot Cards of Modern Goddesses by Cecilia Latari and illustrations by Petra Braun. This is a rock pool tarot. Yeah, the guidebook looks like this. Very nice, chic. I like it. Very pretty. And of course, the name suggests you have, oh come on, it came in with a very strange packaging. Like, okay, there you go. You have another talk box inside. So yeah, so yeah, colors are vibrant. Reminds me of the modern witch, not modern witch, the everyday witch tarot. This one looks like Frida Kahlo. I'm not sure. I got this just super recently, so I don't want to lose the order because I haven't filmed the review for this one and the flip through, but that is how it looks like. Very vibrant colors. I love the mint. I love the pink. I love the pale yellow. And they do have dark cards, but it is a very beautiful deck. I love the modern clothes. Very sophisticated, and it's quite minimalist, I think, for some of the cards at least. But yeah, there you go. That is the tarot cards of Modern Goddesses, a deck by Rockpool Publications down under in Australia. Okay, this is just quite a challenge. Okay, I have to put that there, put this here, and then insert it here. So extra clutter, not a fan of the packaging, quite frankly. Next one is, I'm not even looking, what is this deck? Oh, okay, so the Labyrinth Tarot by Jim Henson. Thomas Iho created the artwork for this one. So this is a David Bowie deck. So if you are a fan of the cult classic Labyrinth, the movie, you might just gravitate towards this one. I really, I haven't seen that film, nor am I a fan. But I thought it was, nice to have. Not so keen on this deck, to be honest, and I'll probably gift it to a friend who's leaving the company as a going away gift. The images are nice. I can't relate to this deck. I'm not gonna lie, I really can't. But it's a pip deck, and they changed the name of the suits and the let me see, the major. Where are the major cards? Some of them are still the same, but yeah, I hope my friend appreciates this. But there you go. This one is really cool though. I like it. So that is the Labyrinth Tarot deck by Jim Henson. On to the next one. This is Tarot Mucha by Los Carabeo, a gift by Anna of Antiquarian Sense. This is your Art Nouveau style right here. So in essence, it's like the golden Art Nouveau sans the beautiful golden background or golden detail in the deck. The images, of course, they're very romantic. I love it. It's so pretty. I love the borders. I don't mind them at all. Cardstock is really good as well. Okay, this is kind of like your premium cardstock from Los Carabeo. So it's not like the talk box one. It has more resistance and it is quite papery and thicker. The backing is gorgeous as well. I prefer this backing over the other one. Very nice. It's very romantic vibes coming through from this deck. So I use this for love readings as well. Next up, let's see. What do we have? Gosh, it's quite far away from me. But yes, this is the Starchild Tarot and my soul deck. I absolutely love this deck. I purchased this before the Moonchild Tarot deck because I thought that if I purchased a Moonchild Tarot deck before this one, I will never even consider this again. Do you know what I mean? It was just crazy. I don't know. It was an impulsive buy, but a very, very great buy and a very, very good decision that I ended up getting this one because it turned out to be my soul deck. This is the deck that I connect with the most, of course, after my OG. But it is very gorgeous. The images are so otherworldly. I feel like, yeah, similar to the Moonchild, but there's just something about this deck. It's like it's home to me. Do you know what I mean? Like we have that. We have connections with our decks, and different levels of connections as well. But this one really, it hits me strong. And whenever I get this, I'm just like so comfortable with it, and I love it. Even though it's a pip deck, and I'm not keen on pip decks, but I just absolutely adore this deck, and I'm so grateful for the connection that I have with this one. Amazing energy, beautiful artwork, just an overall amazing deck. I'm gonna pull the guidebook because it does have a guidebook, but the guidebook is bigger than the box, so it's separate. There you go. That's the guidebook. But it does provide a lot of information as well. The Starchild Tarot, Akashic version, of course. Alright, moving on to the next one. This is the Pulp Girls Tarot deck by Rock Point, not Rock Pool, Rock Point, so that is fairly new. I just got this deck, haven't gone through it yet. That sucks. It does pull out. As the name suggests, these are just females, but very badass females, by the way, and very beautiful. It's a nice deck. You have black borders all throughout, but I really don't mind it. I think it's gorgeous. The backing is also cool, very nice, and the guidebook is also nice. So I don't have anything else to say. Like, I feel like I'm running out of things to say because I've been talking for the last, I don't know how long. Over an hour already, I guess. Okay, next up is the Grunge Tarot. This is by Francesca Matteoni with illustrations by Andrea Moresco. Tarot wisdom sounds as grunge tunes. Okay, so this is by Rockpool, again from Australia. Guidebook. A lot of information, okay? She can plan her future. She withdraws into herself. You have upright and reversed meanings. The cards are of the same size as the Modern Goddesses deck. Backing is very interesting. And I love the 90s. So here we are. Very cool, very modern. Reminds me of the Everyday Witch Tarot by Liminal 11 as well. Oh gosh, no. Modern Witch Tarot by Liminal 11. I guess in the outfits, but this is so funky. I really like this deck. I'm so excited to go through it and create a separate video for its review and flip through. Okay, there you go. The Grunge Tarot. Next up is the Zombie Tarot Mystical Prediction Oracle with card deck and instructions. This is by, Stacey Graham and Headcase Design. So this is one of my scarier decks. Where's the guidebook? I know it has a guidebook somewhere. Oh, there you go. The guidebook is very interesting. Even the packaging, you can see it's like an ammunition box. Perfect for the zombie apocalypse. So very interesting guidebook. I like the design. I love that it is like of, old paper. Ties into the theme. The backing is very simple. It's just like that. It's not reversible. It has zombie and tarot there and a zombie in the middle. The images are wonderful though. I like it. It's so vintagey. I think it's just, I don't know, very strange. Apocalyptic, definitely, but I love it. I love it. I love zombie movies, especially Zombieland. Double tap. But yeah, there you go. I'm gonna talk much about it. The cardstock is actually really good as well. It is thick. The cardstock is substantial. And as you can see, I've had this for a long time and it's still, still in good condition. Okay, so that is the Zombie Tarot. Next up is my OG. Yes, the one that started it all. The original Rider-Waite Tarot pack, gifted to me by my brother. And I just love this. I really do love this. It is a very, very old deck. I've had this for, I don't know, since 2010, I believe. I really don't remember. It's been so long. It's like old and, but I do love this deck. It is my go-to deck all the time. Like if I don't feel like I have energy to read something, I would just pull this one and I would know that the connection will remain strong no matter what. Like no matter how long I haven't read the tarot, or if I haven't used this one, it's like an old friend that welcomes me into their home and gives me a cup of hot chocolate, and we just chat, and it's as if we never really parted ways or never really stopped seeing each other for a while. Do you know what I mean? I get that feeling from this deck. It's like a best friend gives me a hug every time I read using this deck. So I really do love my OG. As you can see, it's your RWS deck. Should I show you the guidebook? The guidebook is quite strange. I don't know, because this is OG, so it does have like the doctrine behind the veil, and it's very hard to understand and read. But yeah, that is my favorite. My OG Rider-Waite Tarot pack. Gosh, I have so many decks on my lap right now. Like, I don't know if I can reach for the next one. Okay, this is another Liminal 11 Tarot deck, the Luna Soul Tarot. Nice cover already there. Packaging is amazing. We have nice decoration designs inside. Beautiful world card, and I think that's the death card. But let's see. It does have extra cards as well. It has the Wu Wei. Let's see. Wu Wei and the duality card. So you have 2 extra cards. Guidebook is nice. Very pretty. I love the colors. I love the gradients. It's also hardbound. Okay. Onto the cards. This is not reversible. As you can see, you have Luna and then Sol, or the sun and moon. The images are romantic, I feel like. Very pastel in color. I love the gradient. It's just something that I would really use whenever I have eye strain and I want to read the tarot, but my eyes are hurting. I would often gravitate towards this deck because it gives me comfort. The colors are just so light on the eyes, so refreshing on the eyes. The energy of this deck is also pretty strong. It is very calming. But at the same time, I do get a lot of intuitive hits with this deck because of so many things going on in each of the cards. It varies between modern and, I don't know, maybe olden times in the theme. I really don't mind that at all. I feel like the colors that the artist used in each of the cards, they really are cohesive, or they work together. Do you know what I mean? So yes, one of my most grabbed decks, the Luna Soul Tarot. So Magnus is scratching his post, so if you hear some scratching sounds, that's just him. Next up is the Wandering Star Tarot by Kat Pierce. Another Hay House deck, so it would have the same size as my other Hay House decks. This initially was an independent deck, but it was picked up by Hay House. The guidebook looks like that. You have the title, keywords, a lot of information. Backing is gorgeous. It reminds me of, like, I don't know, maybe Art Deco style. It is quite thick. And you have keywords on the face of the cards. You don't see it as often. I mean, I don't know. Like, some of them you don't see it immediately, but they do have, like, words there. It's like hidden, right? You don't. It doesn't distract you from the reading. See? I didn't even see it. The cards are very unique. The color palette is very strong. And yeah, it's just a very interesting deck. I used to not like decks that would just have faces facing me. But this one, it's mostly like that, and I don't mind it. I like it. I think Kat Pierce did a wonderful job representing each of the cards. So yeah, there you go. That is the Wandering Star Tarot by Kat Pierce, published by Hay House. This is a Los Carabello deck. This is the Santa Muerte Tarot. I love it. Like, I love it so much. It's one of my favorites. I'm really happy that I purchased this deck. I wasn't so keen on it the first time. Like, I thought, my skull face, because I used to love skulls. Like, I had like a bunch of necklaces that have skull pendants on them, and I was like, that phase of my childhood is over. Like, before I would see it, I wouldn't be interested in it. But then one day I just decided, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get it. And I'm so happy that I did, because this is just a truly, truly wonderful deck. Energy is awesome. Connection is great. The images are beautiful, like stunning. Each and every one of these are like, you know, it's like an art in itself. To me, it's like a painting in itself. So very nice. I love it. It doesn't follow the RWS system. It has its own vibe and feel, but it works, and it's just very stunning. I love the colors. Gosh, I don't know. I really love this deck. It is an amazing, amazing deck. I'm gonna show you the guidebook just so that, very quickly, just so that you can see how it looks like. Oh, that's the backing. Also gorgeous. So yeah, there you go. The backing is like that. It has different languages, of course. So you have several pages allotted just for English. Alright. Beautiful deck. Santa Muerte Tarot by Los Carabeo. This is by Fabio Lestrani. Alright, this is Britt's Third Eye Tarot. The one that I purchased off of Amazon. It turned out to be a bootleg deck. I'm not gonna part ways with it just because I like the images as well. Probably not gonna use this for other people, maybe just for myself. But yes, that is how it looks like. Really nice. I can't talk much about the packaging, the printing quality or whatnot, because like I said, you know, this is one of those decks that are sold as legit ones on Amazon, and then they turn out to be fake. But the images are quite similar, I guess, to the actual. So if you're keen to get this one, go to check out my review, because I did create like a review about this deck, and I linked the actual artist's website or Etsy site wherein you can purchase that deck. Okay, next up is the Guided Hand Tarot. This is another Etsy deck. I think this is very interesting. It's a collage deck that normally I wouldn't go for, but for some reason it just calls out to me. So yeah, it's a very nice deck. Collage, like I said. The images are quite strange, and I think that's what makes it super interesting. I love this death card. It'll allow you to connect more to your intuition. Do you know what I mean? You won't be grasping for straws because you already know the meanings of the cards, right? But the images just provide an additional oomph to your reading. I don't use this as much, just because, you know, I do have a ton of decks here, but whenever I do, I get good readings from this one. This is created by Irene Mudd. Check her out on Etsy. Next up is Aunt Lily's Tarot, another independent deck, one of my most recent ones. This one doesn't come with a guidebook because, as per Aunt Lily, she created this deck and a website wherein people can learn how to read the tarot, because that's what her initial plan was, why she created a deck for her niece. Okay, so there you go. And she also has like an access for you to check out the guidebook. So 4 extra cards with spreads and whatnot. The backing is very minimalist. I love the color. I love the yellow. So the cardstock is really good. It doesn't have that rose petal feel, but it is matte, very nice, and it is quite thick. So, you know, really good cardstock used. The images are modern, are a mixture of modern and, you know, they have animals. So anything goes in this deck. But I think Aunt Lily actually used real people, or was inspired by real people in the creation of this deck. So it's a very good one. I haven't gone through all of the cards yet. I will do that once I start filming my review of this deck. It should come out sometime soon. But there you go. That is the Aunt Lily Tarot by Claire Lily. She has another version of this deck, one that is, you know, smaller, more of like a travel size, but I decided to get this one. Next up, oopsies, is my Kawaii Tarot, Understanding Tarot with the Kawaii universe, one of my favorite ones because it's just uber cute. It's super duper cute. I love it. This is a rock point deck, similar to, gosh, which one is that? We just opened it earlier. I don't remember. The Kawaii Tarot is obviously a super duper adorable and just absolutely cute deck. The guidebook looks like this. The backing is very simple. It just looks like this. Cardstock is, you know, it's sturdy. It's not as flexy or It's not as flexible, but it is really nice, very papery, and I have no issues with this deck. I love it. It's just so gorgeous. The colors, they're so refreshing. The faces of the animals, you would just completely be in awe with how cute they are. Look at that koala. It's just, I don't know, it just gives me completely happy vibes, even though, you know, this is the Three of Swords and it's supposed to give you like painful vibes or hurt. I can't. Look at the cat, you know? It's just gorgeous. You have like this. What is that? I don't even know. And this, is that like a mochi ball? Is that like a scoop of vanilla ice cream? No, that's a seal, a white seal, and it's just so cute. The hamster. Gosh, is that even a hamster, a chinchilla, or what is it? It's too pretty. It's too cute. And yeah, if there's one deck that I would like everyone to have just to give them happy vibes, this is it. Go ahead, get the Kawaii Tarot. It's too cute and too adorable to pass up on. Oh, and don't confuse this Kawaii Tarot with the other Kawaii Tarot. That's a pip deck that's very minimalist. Look for the one with the fancy unicorns. Alright, next up is the Sufi Tarot by Ayeda Hussein. This is relatively new. I just got this like a week ago. I also filmed the unboxing for my haul maybe just a week ago, last week. So I'm not going to go through all of the cards, or nor will I shuffle this one, because I don't want to ruin the arrangement for when I do the flip through. But as you can see, it has the Sufi style or vibe, Middle East vibe, and I'm so interested with Sufi philosophy. So yeah, I'm so keen to know more about this deck and learn more about Sufism. So yes, I hope that the images, you know, are enough. I'll definitely do a separate review on this one and flip through, so check it out. The backing looks like that. I'm gonna put this very nicely. Now I really do hope that I would learn more from the guidebook, because as you Sayuf, air, blue, mental process. This is very cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this deck is going to be very, very substantial, not just with learning the tarot, but also how the artist is able to connect this with Sufism. So very interesting. I love it when decks do that, deck creators do that. Next up is, of course, everyone's favorite tarot deck, the Light Seers Tarot. Had this for a long time already. Guidebook looks like this, not colored. Backing looks like this. I think you've seen this all over YouTube. I edged mine in green, dark green. This one doesn't have any borders. The colors are super vibrant, very beautiful. I love the representation on the cards. This is one of my favorite death cards. It's just gorgeous. She looks like Olga Korlenko. And yeah, there you go. Okay, not gonna go through all of this. I'm pretty sure you've seen the Light Seers Tarot somewhere here on YouTube. Next up is, I have to include this one. This is the Tiny Universal Weight Tarot. Yeah, it is just this size. Super tiny, just a novelty item that I wanted to get, and I got it. So I don't have this in order, obviously. If I do decide to use this one, I don't. But when I do, I would just throw it inside like a canvas bag, or yeah, like a small container, and shuffle it. And whichever cards, you know, I pick, then, you know, that's how I read with it, you know. So small, and it's so difficult to fix. I should have done this last, but there you go. I usually have a hard time fixing this, but it's nice to me today. So that is the Tiny Universal Weight Tarot. We're down to last 3 decks. This is the Journey of the Sacred Bee Tarot. I purchased this one from Anna of Anaquarian Sense because a brand new one is super expensive, and I wasn't so sure if I will like this deck. The guidebook looks like this. This is a Thoth deck. At least the system that they use is Thoth. Backing is gorgeous. As you can see, I love the colors. I love the stamp foiling of this bee here. I love the beautiful turquoise edging. Not so keen on the images though. But if you want to know more about what I think of this deck, I have a review there in my playlist. I can't say I super connect with this one, not because it's a Thoth system deck, but more of like, it seems like the images are just thrown together to make them look aesthetic, but symbolism wise, I'm not really getting so much. It's beautiful and the packaging is nice, but that is all that I'm getting from this deck. So yeah, that is this journey of the Sacred Bee Tarot. Next up is one of my faves and most used decks. This is the Tarot of Mystical Moments by Katrine Welsh-Stein. This is a US Games deck. Very interesting. I had the Oracle, but I don't know, I didn't bond with it as much as I really bonded and connected with this deck, so I ended up giving that away. So the guidebook, it's not that thick, but it does provide substantial information for each of the cards. Also, this deck have options for you. So you have different Kings of Cups or different Kings and Emperor cards here for you to choose from. Right? So I like that. We get to choose. So the quality of the card is superb. I like it. It is glossy though, and it's quite the hyper gloss style. But you know, I prefer matte decks, but I'm not bothered by this one. You know, I think if anything, it just allows the cards to be a little bit more vibrant, and I like it. It has its own color pursuit here for the bar, and the backing is just very simple. This one is edged in silver, which I think is really cool as well. And although it has a dream state vibe, it's not creepy. Even this deck is like nothing compared to the creepiness of the Dreamkeeper Tarot. So yeah, I don't know, man. If you're looking for a dream-like deck, yeah, I would, recommend the Tarot of Mystical Moments. It's just very nice. A lot of intuitive hits. I love the faces of the people in this deck. They're very emotive, right, and expressive. So yeah, an overall amazing deck, beautiful, and one of my favorites. The symbolism is just through the roof. And yes, there you go. The Tarot of Mystical Moments by Katrine Welsh-Stein. Let me fix this. And yes, I can't believe this. We are down to the last deck in my collection, and that is the Starseeker Tarot. Again, one of my favorites. This is by Nikki Ferrada. This is an independent deck. Let's see. An indie deck. Alright, where is the guidebook? The guidebook is there. At the, oh gosh. At the bottom. Alright. So, the guidebook is just text. Nothing there to see, aside from the text. And I did get this sticker, which I think is really cute, of the star. And yeah, that fits my sign. Now, the cards. Look at that. This is like really the prettiest edging I have ever seen. I love that it is like this grayish purple. I don't know. It's just so beautiful to me. The cardstock is also superb. It has that rose petal finish, and the backing is gorgeous. The cardstock is good. It's thick. It's a very beautiful deck. I love the patterns that they added. It's super interesting. As you can see, that there's still texture in their dresses. It's not just a plain dress. You have like clouds in them. I don't know. I just love this deck so much. It might seem a little bit dark, but they do have like lighter cards in here, at least the atmosphere or the vibe. But overall, really just a very gorgeous deck. Good energy. I use this for whatever type of reading. Actually, it works all the time. And I'd like to think that I've connected with this deck pretty much just because of how often I use it. So yes, this is a very beautiful deck by Nikki Ferrada. Check her out on Etsy. I think, yeah, that's where I purchased this deck from. And that's it, you guys. We finished. We're done. I hope I made sense. And, some of the things that I said when I was doing the flip through. I know I said I wouldn't speak as much, but, I did. I'm not going to put all of the decks together anymore for the closing because they're just messy all over the place right now inside my room, and I have to fix it. So I'm just going to say thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. converse with me. Let me know what you guys think of my collection. Is there a specific deck that you would like to get for yourself, or maybe do we have the same taste? If you reached the very end of this video, please add a shell. I don't know, like a seashell in the comments section, just so that I know if you actually finished the video. Thank you again, and have a blessed new year ahead. Bye!